shit, the mirror. What's the mirror? What's that one? Oh, okay. It seems to be recording. Let's just monitor this. Let's just monitor this, shall we? 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay. 1 2. Right. Monitor. Just see if we're on live. Oh yes. Oh, hang on. Right, let me take that one off. Okay, now we need to go live. He says. Yeah, there you go, we're live. There you go, it says we're live. So there you go. And 5,600 followers. Look at that. That's quite some people, isn't it? Not bad for about, I don't know, 5 years on Facebook after a break. Yeah. Okay, let's go on to the live situation. See, now I can monitor myself live. That's usually about 10 seconds delay, that is. If I hold that there, you'll see me put my phone up in a minute. Actually, it's quite a lot, actually. It's probably about 10 seconds delay. So I did that 10 seconds ago. There you go. Look, I'm going to put the phone up. Showed it for the first time. And then I hold it there, and it'll be there for a little while then, so I'm sorry about that. There you go, you see I'm holding it there, and I've still got it there. Technology. See, I've still got it there, and I've took it away. Now, actually, but I'm about 10 seconds in. Front of you. It's like time. Time travel. So what I'm am doing at the moment is basically what you're seeing later. And then I just go on to this one here, and then I can talk to people and communicate with people. So we got the old phone doing the noise at the moment. That's been programmed in to be a synthesizer. And I've still got my pad here that does all the other bits and bobs. So you've got quite a few things. I did think about putting 2 more cameras in, so I have probably one over there and probably one over there, or one over there. I've been seeing some of these cameras, they got they can track you, your movement, and also zoom in, zoom out and all that. Having to look at those, see how they go. We've still got the other camera that's watches the keyboards. And yeah, if you want to say a few things to me, I'll be able to get back to you. So, hope you're well. What we got tonight? Fizzy blackcurrant. A fizzy blackcurrant. Yeah, so a lot of people said, how did you turn your phone into a synthesizer? Well, I downloaded a app. This is my old phone here, which was what's that one? That's the Hawaii. This is Hawaii. And instead of, you wouldn't get note for it much, so I thought it's a powerful little phone. Let's use it for some other technology. And I downloaded one of the Korg apps, the Kronos, which is a looping system. If I switch it off, you'll be able to hear me a bit better. It's a looping system, and what it does, it's a big screen looking at me, and there's loads of bits and bobs you can do with it. Change different sounds. And it does all that. And it's a handy little thing. I could just basically play along with it, or just use a loop or a rhythm of some sort. Let's see, I could put a rhythm in it. Bit more modern sounds, but then you can play along with it, you see. There you go. Turn your phone into an app, that's all you got to do. And this was one of the latest Korg ones. It's the Kronos. Doesn't cost no, it's free. Bit more like craft work. I love it, absolutely love it. And we can just change things around a bit. Pretty cool, eh? Pretty cool, eh? That's all it is. It's all recorded loops. Could do a whole DJ session like this. Ooh, that's different. It's amazing what you can do with an app on a phone. This is the Core Kronos. It's also got we can do it all manually and all. We got the X, the Y. So depending on where you want to go, and these little colours here represent different instruments. Bit of a fatty synth there. Pretty cool, eh? And there's loads of things you can do with it. You can change your chords, you can change your pitch, you can change your modulation, you can change your envelope. Everything a synthesizer can do, but this can do it. Absolutely unbelievable. And of course you've got your rhythm patterns, or you've got your looping patterns. It seems to be the way to go nowadays, isn't it? Pre-recorded loops. And also you can loop them and record them loops and all. So if we basically did like, let's have a look, I'll record something. Well, I will when it stops doing that. Let's see a look. No, we want to stop that. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Let's see if we can get that. No, we're supposed to stop. Hang on, let's see if we can get this loop off. It seems to want to keep going all the time for some reason. It must be the way the presets are on. Let's have a look. I ain't got my glasses. Never mind. Let me think. Looping. Background audio, take that off. Light cornering, take that off. If in doubt, take all the settings off and then start doing one at a time. That's the best way of doing things. Because if you take them all off, then you can always build them on. Yeah, I see the lights are off now. It didn't do it though, did it? So much for going back onto that one. Okay, well, basically it's like a looping system, like Ed Sheeran does when he's on stage. He'll do 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 do, and then minutes later it'll come back do 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 do, and then he'll fill in something else in the back. Then la 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 la, do do do, and la 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 in between. So it builds up a sort of thing like the presets on here are already built-in presets, so these would be how we want them. When it's listed across all the way along, that will give you the full version of that style. And there's loads. But what you can do is you can mix and match. So you could mix an electronic rhythm bass with a hip-hop beat, and then we can change it to a glitch synthesizer, and then we can also put it onto a moon melody reggae guitar, and then bring in the strings. And as soon as you loop it over from one to the other, it'll give a 3-second delay, and then it jumps straight back into the next beat. So it seems to match it perfectly. It's just changed over now. Sort of glides it in so you don't really notice. And then you can build in, put a reggae with it. So reggae with a hip hop and a dubstep. That's kind of something you don't usually hear. An electronic beat. The more of you that you put on these five steps, the more of a beat you'll get of that sort of genre. Until you've got all the lights lit up and it stays straight onto that beat then. There you go, that is a full electronic 1 beat. Now if I take it down 1, I can take all the 5 beats and change it onto another beat instantaneously. That's gone on to a chill 1 now, and you can go there from a chill 1 to an R&B 1. All real instruments been sampled. Moonbeat 1 or a glitch 1. How about a dubstep? Wow. How about a dubstep 2? And we can go up to a deep house 1. That sounds good, doesn't it? Or electronic 2. That's cool, I like that. And then we can go to electronic 1 house. A deep house 1. So all them 5 represents an instrument, so each beat is split down 5, so there's 5 different instruments to make that beat. And what you can do on this phone, which is the Korg app, you can split them and split the instruments. So if we take on a house 1, and say we want to match them a bit there, so I'm going to keep the bass on house 1. I'm going to take the beat to a different one. I'm going to do the beat to a trance 1. A little bit the same in the beat. And I'm also going to give a deep bass on minimal 2. Oh, that's cool. A synthesizer on house 1. That's not a synthesizer, let's try that one. No, that's not it. Too much bass. That could be the synthesizer, it must be over that side then. Your bass is, and your beats all this side, then it goes that way over to the synthesizer, so the lead stuff's going to be over that side. All your beats are going to be down here with the bass, so that's bass drums now. So you change all the drums whilst keeping that one in run order. So if you want to do a lead piece of one of the instruments, say a synthesizer, that's not synth. Nice little loop again. There's another little trick you can do. As it's running through my mixer, I've got quite a few effects on here, so I could do some nice effects. Probably a bit too much there. Let's bring that back. also bring in the top end. I can bring in the bottom end. Wow. Then I can bring in the middle version. So we'll split all the sounds up and all, that's not a problem. And you can just jump from one to the other. They're pretty cool, I quite like it. So once you've got all the things set up and that, you can just use this finger on here with the pad to use your highs and lows, lefts and rights, and also X and Y. That's definitely the bass. Synthesizer. Yeah, you could get completely lost on this thing, I must admit. Love it. Pretty cool. Okay, well, yeah, that's what she does. And I play along with it every now and again. So that's the introduction of that one. Let's put it on that page. No, actually that one. Oh, too much. Going through my ears. And of course, every time you change your beat, then every time that these 5 little dots on the bottom represent one instrument. So you change your beat, then each one of those dots are going to be a different instrument. So same as the chorus, if basically, like the keyboard downstairs, if you basically do a one touch button, it puts everything together as it would be for that beat. So if I do, not that much, bring that down a bit. Now if I take something I know, it's quite nice. Might be one in there. So once you've got your loop list, just come out of that. You've got all these lights flashing, and then every single one of them little coloured lights is now a different instrument. So if I shut it off, now if I go onto a different colour, because I've gone onto a different style, every single colour now represents a different sound. So sometimes when I'm playing the keyboard, I can use that as another instrument. Probably sometimes you can use the beat and all with it if you want. But I don't know, let's take it at number 1. Yeah, on the loop you can hold your hand down on the pad. If you go up, it'll change the parameters. Go down, it changes the other ones. If you go to the left, it dubs it out. If you go to the right, it enhances it. But you can also go parallel on this thing. You can go anywhere really, and it'll bring in different sounds at the time. So it's an amazing bit of kit. Oh dear, I love it. Marvellous bit of kit. Hi Diana, Colin, how you doing boy? And Steve's in there. What do you reckon then, Colin, that AI then? I think it's really cool. I'm not really a fan of it for music-wise. I don't like it taking over music-wise, but I don't mind using it as for my covers, because I think it really enhances them and makes them look really cool. And basically I can't sort of print like that, and I can't do artist work like that. And it's also with my, if I do a song, I want to talk about it, so I'll put some keywords in there, and then I get my AI chat box to actually put them all together. Reason there is, I'm not good at spelling, I'm not good at punctuation, and I'm not good at all that stuff. So basically I'll let it do it, and it looks like a professional job. I don't mind telling you that. if the technology is there, I'm going to use it, but I'm not going to use it for music, because I don't need to. I think that's just a bit cheatified, really. You might just as well press a button. I don't press buttons, but I don't mind using it for artwork, or I don't mind using it for explaining things, like, you know. It's like when you go on eBay, you actually now have the facility, like if you're selling something, because you've put the heading in what it is, and you ask chat box to do something about it, it'll tell you everything about that thing, what it does, like, you know. So then basically all you do is just say, yeah, come and pick it up, so and so, you don't have to do all that lot. I think AI is good. I do like AI, I must admit. I like the photos, I like the pictures, I like the things it can do. I like the way it helps you, because I've asked loads of people in the music business how to do things, and they had a clue. I don't know how it works, whether you do it for a record, do you do it this day, if you put a record out there, do you do it to a synth, do you need a synth license, where's the synth license got to go, who owns the synth license, you know. You just ask ChatGPT about something like, I want to put my music to sync, which is the best company to do it with. We went through it last night. It went through all the best companies to do it with. Then I says, right, now what I want to do is I want the best company that's going to give me the best returns for royalties, and I want the best company that's not going to charge me so much, and which is the price layout, and it did all that for you. How much would you be paying someone to do all that, So I think it's fantastic, really. It really does help me out a treat. And yes, I am going back to streaming. I don't like streaming, but I have to put the music out there so people know where I am. I suppose 80,000 is not too bad fans around the world. But I don't know. Well, maxed out on Facebook, 5,000. Supposed to really have 5,000, but they do give me a little bit more for some reason. I'm at 5,750 now. I love it. But all my social media put together, there's over 70,000 now, so all my links and that. Yeah, everyone keeps saying you've got to go back on streaming because it's the only way you're going to get yourself out or pay, basically, a lot of money. There's also an update. I've decided now to pack in discos because I want to concentrate more on this. But also, I'm going to do a lot more care homes. So basically, pack the discos up. Instead of doing 4 hours sitting there and that, or doing the discos, I'll be only doing 1 hour on the keyboard, which is cool because you can 2 or 3 bookings of that a week. You're earning nearly as much as what you would be for the discos, but you're not having all the hassle of someone pointing a camera in your face, or 4 or 5 cameras in your face, and waiting for you to do something wrong. So, no, the generation that I will be dealing with normally are very good, and I've had no problem with those. The new generation with this new stuff, no, I don't want nothing to do with it anymore. So, one DJ is packing up now. I'm not going to be doing it anymore. I'm going to sell off all the stuff. I am basically just going to keep this one to do the care homes. Keep that stand, keep that, and then I've got a stand downstairs. I would have took the other one, but this one sounds really great when it's out, so I might be just taking this one. I don't know. We'll see. It's easy enough. I mean, sometimes if probably are doing a car boot sale, I can take the little one downstairs there and play outside. Because if I show me car, I might put got a little battery pack, plug that in, play a few tunes in the back there on the old tailgate. That's nice. So, you guys want to hear me playing? Let's play. What we're going to play, I haven't a clue. Nothing gets planned. Let me see. Let's have a look. What we got? Melody. Flute. I mean, I don't know if you guys enjoyed that last thing. I had loads of people asking me to do the blue screen. A simple thing. You're watching a blue screen. You're enjoying this 432 drone sound. And the simple is, it's relaxing, it's chilling out. All this sound is all 432. And it gives a warmer and smoother sound. So. Beautiful. Nearly the same there. It just gives that lovely sound. Interesting. put the old DPSs on. So yeah, it gives that lovely, lovely smooth sound. And let's have a look. Got a nice glidey sound there. And yeah, I mean, on my YouTube, you've probably seen a blue screen, and I put my 432 sound on there, which is the drone sound, which is really, really slowed down, and it gives that nice effect. So you can just about close your eyes and relax, and that's what them albums are called, Relax, 432 Relax. I had loads of fans come back to me last time. I mean, it was 4 minutes, and they said, "Can you do it for 30 minutes?" Christ. Okay, yeah, because I have seen videos on there for 4 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours. I don't know if they leave the thing running all night or not. I don't know, but I put a 30-minute one on. It took nearly about 2 gig of memory, so I don't know how the heck they get all that on. And they get millions of hits, absolutely millions and millions and millions. And all it is just music with a screen. Sometimes it don't even move or anything. So I thought I'd put this blue screen up with some one track of my music, but spread it out and stretch it, and also make it as slow as anything. And it's such a great effect that loads of fans come back and say, "Can you do that one again, but 30 minutes long?" So on my Facebook, that's the one that's 30 minutes long. And I even had some other fans saying, "Can you do an hour?" There's one I can actually, but it's going to take a while to download it, and it's also going to take a lot of memory to do an hour, unless there's another way of doing it. So I'm going to look into that. So there might be quite a few lot longer ones, like, but we'll see how it goes. That's nice. Right. I like that, that's nice. Let's do a 4-finger range. I'm going to set them all on 4-finger range. So that means all that keyboard there, all that keyboard there, all that keyboard there. I'll have, as soon as you put three keys down, that will make a chord and make a loop. Ooh, it's loud though. Yeah, that's too loud. That's too loud. Let's bring that clarifier down. Interesting. No, they're looping too much. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it back to fingered chords. All Casio is set to finger chords. It's better. So now we'll go from here, and that loops it down, that splits it down to this key side now. So this side here is chords, that side league. When we got it on 1-finger touch. That's it. And we also want to take the sync off and put it straight onto there. Quite loud, isn't it? So let's just take that down a bit. bit of a sci-fi-ish film soundtrack there you could have on that one. Yeah, I like that. That was pretty interesting. Interesting, yes. Let's see, where do we go? Was that a polka? Do we want a polka? I don't know what a polka. Get that there. That's pretty cool. Sounds like a bit of a cinema organ, that one. It's still a bit too sharp. Bit of ambience on that one. Pretty good. It's nice synth sound there, must admit. That's what we got on the 3. Not bad. It seems to lock in the synth brass. Not quite the one I want though. Bit of a brass one. Got locked something else there. Interesting. Okay, one touch button. And we also want the lock-in. Can't hear that for some reason. I think it's going through. Sometimes when you have different sounds, you don't get as loud as sometimes it was set. That seemed very, very quiet, that did, in my headphones. Yeah, the beat is really, really powerful. How strange. Okay. Hope that's coming through nice and clear to you. That keyboard there was very quiet to me. Don't know what was causing that. Anyway, let's do some waltz. Interesting. Too many noise blankers off that. Very low sound that. I want to get that louder. Okay, it's got strings. Bring the strings up, but then take the bass down and the rhythm down. Better. going to try something. I'm going to go full finger chords. Whoa, a bit of raw old stuff there. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool, that, doesn't it? Just when you turn it up, must admit. We're doing that one. Wow. Okay, well that's those. Let's do this one. Okay. I'm working on a different camera angle for tomorrow, actually. Well, actually, I've got a little stand coming over, and the idea is tomorrow, when doing my Sunday chill, instead of having the camera here, where I had it facing down like that, I'm going to have it at the back of me, but just over my head, so people can see all the controls that I'm doing, and as I'm playing, and all the actual things. and all the work I'm doing, because you're actually a composer as you're a keyboard player. So let's do a little bit of this one then. So basically, what do we got? Something. Look at the time. Keeping the time out. Let's have a look. We go a bit further up. Is that one in there? Let's have a look. I'm just looking to see if I still got that one on there. Someone asked me to do it the other day. And I know I got it in this one somewhere. There he is. Didn't think I had it on the there. It's not that one, is it? Yeah, because it's a bit of 80s D-Day or something like that. So can you do a little bit in the mood? And yeah, I'll have a look, see if it's in there. So here it is. There you go, a bit of in the mood there, so I hope my guys enjoyed that one. And this one's String of Pearls, so it's a little bit slower. you go, a couple there from a bit of the old Glenn Miller, and they a bit of a band there. Okay, we're going to do a little bit different one now. This one is another one that was asked for the other week. It wasn't in that sound. Okay, a little bit of a dance one by the group called the Nolans, and this one's called In the Mood for Dancing. in the mood for dancing. I think there's a bit too much travel on that. Let's have a look. So we're running on the purple wire. Travel. Yeah, we've got a little bit too much travel on that, so we're going to bring that one down a bit. Too much travel. It's giving me too much atmosphere to that one, so I don't really want that much atmosphere. Let's take that one up to there. Give it a nice precise sound, but not a lingering sound. It's coming back as a lingering sound in my headphones. That's better, that's brought it back together. together. That sounds a bit tighter, isn't it? Okay, let's go to something else. Wow, that's a bit sort of... Okay, but it goes right in the sky. But the old ghost rides in the sky. more treble in there. Okay. Yeah, there's some weird sounds in that one, must admit. Okay, a little bit of an ABBA. And this one is Man After Midnight. I think I put a reggae beat to this one, I'm sure I have. Yeah, I did that. Sort of a laid back one. nice synthesizer there. Bit of choir stuff on the old pads there. Okay, we'll make one more. I think let's have a look. Time's getting on a bit, crikey. Okay, let's go to number 8. Interesting. Okay, let's have an ABBA. They just love them synthesized sounds. Okay, ABBA melody. for the music, for giving it to me. Always finish off with that one. Always finish off with that one. Ooh. Okay, well, we put a few ABBA melodies there for you guys. Always get that every week. Can you put an ABBA? Do you do it? Don't forget the ABBA. Let's go with the ABBA. And all the 80s stuff. There you go. I was going to do an 80s discos, but basically it's just too much a challenge now. There was something come up from Facebook. It made me change my mind, actually. There's something come up on Facebook, and it said they wanted a DJ. I thought, okay, fine, put me oar in like that. 50 other people put their oar in, and half of them, I think, are bedroom DJs, but so they won't be on a license, they won't be insured, they won't be pat tested, so they blow the place up. But there again, if you don't want us professionals, that's fine. So yeah, there's a lot of competition now, so I don't really push it anymore now. I used to, but no, it's after that last 2 or 3 times out, it's another world. It's not a happy 80s world like we used to have, where everyone used to get a dance and do the chicken and the doggy dance and things like that. They won't do it. They won't do it. You put on something like Love Won't Be Denied, and no one knows it. No one looks. They stand there all taking photos of everyone. Think, oh, that was clever. And then you put something on like, that most people know, but then I thought, well, these youngsters don't want to dance. They don't want to do notes. So very strange. Okay, so I thought, well, I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to not bother anymore, because I'm very close to. Last time out, I nearly lost all my gear, just for a joke. Oh, I've got you go, fuck off, mate, put it back in, and all that sort of thing. So I thought, I don't want all this hassle. I never used to have it before. So, yeah, so with deep regard, it's got to come to an end, obviously. So basically, I'm just going to finish the discos and still keep my name DJ, because I have earned that. I've been doing it since 2008. But it's just a genre, different completely out there. Yeah, it's just changed. But not just changed, it's frightening now. It's people are walking around with knives and things like that. I don't want to be out in an environment like that. I'm happy really playing in the care homes. I know that generation. I can play anything they want, and they're more respectful. They've been brought up better, and that's the environment that I'm going to stick at. So the discos are being sold off. I'm going to sell the whole discos off. All I'm going to do is basically keep that little box in there for my karaoke's that I do at the care homes, and my keyboard. Take that one out. Don't worry about these. These are all right. They'll still be doing the disco. They'll still be doing the keyboard ones, all the live ones. Still be doing the studio stuff, and still be doing the Sunday chill. So nothing's going to change there. But it's just the discos. It's so hard work these last 2 years trying to get a booking, and then when you do, you just, well, yeah, it's. Half time you get confronted by songs that you've never even heard, that's never even been in the charts, that's never even hit the charts, and that wouldn't even get near the charts because they sound terrible. So yeah, it's another environment out there, and they're too pushy, these youngsters. They want want it now, got to have it now. Excuse me, just wait. I was brought up with being courteous and that, like, none of this, I want it now, put it on now. Excuse me, I'll put it on when you put it on now. What you can do with it? Oh, really? Okay. So, it's not worth it. Just leave it alone. So I says, right, I'm just going to do the care homes now, and that's it. I mean, I charge £85 an hour, so you don't mean many of them. And everything's paid off anyway, and I don't need to worry about making a lot of money. So, yeah. So yeah, it's a bit of a bugger when you can't go do discoing because you've got these youngsters' camera in you. Bloody camera everywhere. It's not the cameras, it's the lights. It's like you got spotlights, about 4 or 5 spotlights all around you. What the fuck? You know. So, and they come around the back and all filming around the back. I don't want to go around the back. No. So yeah, it's. I think small venues discos have come to an era now. It's we're gonna pack it in. And just carry on with the care homes. I've only got I'm 63 now. I don't need this rubbish. So basically, I'm just gonna, 67. I think you can have your pension. So, but just gonna basically carry on with the care homes and build them up again like I used to. I had over 100 at one stage, but the discos got in the way. It was either doing the disco or that, so you couldn't really plan too many things. So yeah, I'm gonna stick to the keyboard playing again, and I might actually go probably a little bit further afield. We'll see. Get on one of these syndicates, you can go all over the place. But we'll see then. There's loads of things coming up soon. Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, thanks a lot for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will be back tomorrow downstairs on the other two. And yeah, I'm gonna start putting a camera about here somewhere so it just misses my head and people can see all the controls and everything that I do. Like nothing's programmed. Like some of these professionals that go out now, they have a CD. They put a CD in there, and you know, put like Brett Wales and stuff like that. Like they have these CDs in there, and they're all programmed. Well, what's the fucking point of that? You might as well just, you know, all it is that what they do is just do the melody and a little bit of the rhythm, a little bit of playing along with it. Everything else is played along. What I do is different. I actually use the chord, the keyboard plays along, and I'll do the melody. But, you know, nothing's programmed. I don't have automatic things going there and everywhere. It's just, nah. I still play the old way. As you see there, nothing's planned. So just play it like that. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to put this video around the world and on all my social media, and then we'll pop it eventually back on Facebook. It'll get back on Facebook, and we'll see you then. So take care, guys. It's been great. Thank you very much for joining me. It's the wrong one, isn't it? Don't like sound like. Let's have a look. Don't like that one. Nothing on that one.